And that's
So
where
good.
your sister circle comes in handy, because other people can see and name what is regular and average to you.
Yes. I've had that conversation with two friends recently that brought their resumes to Ron and I, and they were struggling because they were leaving ministry. And so it was a similar kind of challenge of like, I know I've done this for 10 years, but how do I put this in corporate speak? Because I'm ready to make that transition. So I love that you brought that up for moms, because you're right. We do have skills we just kind of forget. And so you're one of those people that call them out. And I sure do appreciate that. So tell us about the book. Why did you do the 100 Days to Discover the Gift of You? Is that right?
Yeah.
Where did that come from? And then what are you seeing as the result? I imagine some of your sister circle are feeling the benefit of doing this process.
Yeah. So when I wrote She's Still There, so this is, the book that just keeps on giving. It was 2017. There's one chapter in there that talks about gaining a perspective on your life. And GAIN is an acronym for your gifts, your abilities, your interests or passions, and your nature or personality. And so I walked people through that framework for looking at what God put in you, paying attention to you. And we've gotten so much positive feedback on that chapter. It was like, well, let's expand it and give people a journey where we put all the things together for you to go deep, instead of the 3 questions that were at the end of the chapter, an actual body of work that would allow you to take time excavating the
Mm,
gifts in you. Because most of us are just busy and we're doing what we have to do and we're doing what's due tomorrow. And we can casually say, what did God give you? But again, most of us, I've found after that book being out and after women reading that chapter, they really needed more than 3 questions and a bigger guide and a deeper dive in order to really see what exists. Your gifts are simply the things that come easy to you. You think that they're easy, but everybody else is like, oh my gosh, you do that so well. Abilities are things that may or may not come naturally or easy, but they're developed. So it's a skill. I'm not born as an accountant, but I can learn that and have that ability or skill. Your interests or passions are the things that set your soul on fire. So the way I look at it is, at a concert, there's somebody who's gifted to sing, right? There is somebody who has been trained to sing. There is somebody who maybe even can't sing. They're not gifted or trained, but they sure do shout it out every chance they get. They belt it because they're excited about the song. And then there is the personality. And this is why you can go to an opera concert and see one personality on stage, or you go to a Beyonce concert and it's a whole different experience, because how we show up for our gifts, our skills, our passions is determined by our personalities or our stage presence, if you will. And so the book basically dives into how to figure what those things are for you and how to then put that together in a package to apply that today. My gifts I'm a wordsmith, and I'm not a natural speaker. I've learned to be, but I sure do love writing. And in the writing and in the speaking, I've created spaces where women wanted to gather. And since the second grade, I was always the kid who felt left out on the playground. And so I've always created spaces for women to feel like they belong. And it was like, well, why shouldn't I do that if women are trying to figure out how to develop?
yeah.
So that was a outgrowth of me championing my own gifts, abilities, interests, and passions. And I find that if you will just commit to doing the work of discovery, whether you talk to friends or use a resource like the book that I have, if you will just commit, God is just so excited about partnering with people who are willing to go on the adventure. And
Yeah.
so you have to get off the sidelines and get in the game. And then he calls a play where you get the ball. So
Yeah.
even if you don't know what you're looking for, do the work, get with your friends, get a resource, and excavate the thing. Because once you see the dots, then God's job is to draw the line and connect them.
Love it. Well, and I think that a lot of us, and I'm just conversation I'm having with moms, that we think you have been, or you're too old, or whatever. And
No,
then we get too lazy to do the work. And then the enemy is like loving life, because it's like, perfect. I'm going to keep you in your house on Netflix, because why would I, so I just feel like that work allows God to put us back out in the world to do what he just created us to do. And it's thrilling when you get taste of it again. You're like, oh my gosh, it's still there.